So today we will be configuring the project for continuous integration with Hudson. So before starting with Hudson, so we will see what are the admin settings that we can do in the Manage Hudson section. So these are all the actions so that can be done by the admin. So this option will be given to the admin. So that how to set up that options we will see during setting up authentication and authorization part. So for now this Manage Hudson option is available to everybody. So it has different options: configuring system and reloading and managing installing and uninstalling plugins, logs and managing nodes. So we will not be discussing all these things. Okay. So this is the main important thing for configuring any project. Yeah. So here it has all our system related properties information, the home directory. So this home directory is the place where the Hudson will do all its operations. Yeah. So it will keep all its configuration files and the created jobs and installed plugins, everything it will keep inside this home directory. So if you wanted to change this directory to a different location, so you need to set Hudson_home environment variable before starting your Hudson server. If that is set, it will start the home directory to the location that is required in a different location. We can use 2.2.1 also. So I have started using this from a few time back. So I have not upgraded till 2.2.1. So everything is same. So the system message, if you wanted to send any message, display any message on Hudson dashboard, so whoever is accessing dashboard, so they can view this message. So if you set this message here, it will be shown in the Hudson dashboard. I'll just show you a sample. Setting of all these properties is not mandatory. Everything is optional. So based on our requirement, we need to set the properties. Yeah. So this is the message that we have set. So it will be displayed. So whoever is accessing this dashboard, so you can display the message, the required message. If anything is you wanted to communicate to all Hudson users, so you can send by mail, or you can just give a system-wide message. So the detailed help of each and every option is available. So you can understand from here. And this number of executors is how many jobs you wanted to run in parallel. So if based on the executors, it will run that many jobs in parallel. So if number of executors is 2 and the jobs to be run is 4, so till 2 jobs are completed, the other 2 will be in waiting in queue. Yeah, there are so many options. So you can get a detailed help here. So we will see the important options that are required for configuring our project. So these all properties you need not set anything. The only required properties setting is sufficient. So because we are not using Maven project, so we need not touch all these things and everything. We are not using JIT. So JIT is also a tool kind of Subversion. So we need not set off all these properties. So because we are using the project Ant project, so we will use Ant version. So I am having Ant 1.8.3. So I don't want to install it automatically, so because it is already available in my machine. So this is, I'm giving the location of Ant. So this here I am telling, Nagul, there are so many options. If we go through each and every option, so we cannot complete the session. So you can go through it. So detailed help is available. So you can go through it, and if you are not understanding, you can just ask later in the next class. Okay. So this is important is saying for Hudson we are saying that where is the AND installed. So the AND installation location we are telling to the Hudson environment. Similarly, you can add multiple versions of AND. If you have multiple versions of and you can tie up with different projects with the different versions of ANT. So for some projects I wanted to build with ANT 1.8.3, some projects I might want to build with ANT 1.6. So that depends on the requirement. So you can configure multiple versions of ANT. And Maven, we are not using Maven projects, we need not set anything. Subversion. So for us, the Subversion workspace is 1.6. And this is are not required. And this email notification. So this is whenever some build fails or something happens, if you need to receive, we need to receive a mail. So that we can act on that. So here you can configure the details of your mail server and the URL of the Hudson and the from what is the send from address of the mail and the suffix of your email. Suppose if it is gmail.com, you can give gmail.com here. So when you configure all these details, so you can receive mail whenever there is a failure happened in the build. So these three are the important things: email notification, and what is your version control system that you are using for keeping your project, and what is the system that you are using for building your project. So we are using Subversion and Ant is our build engine. So you can configure projects with Maven build scripts also, and you can use different version control systems also like Subversion. So whatever is your requirement and your company is using, the corresponding parameters you need to set. So if your company is using CVS, we need to set the properties of CVS here. If it is using JIT, we need to set the JIT here. Suppose if it is using a different version control system, so here the setting of different version control system properties is not available. So in that case, what we have to do is, so we have to search a plugin that is available, and we need to install the plugin, and then we need to see the properties from where we can set those values. So how to install plugin and setting properties we will see in the next session. So I notified where the ant is installed, and I have set my subversion is 1.6. So email server details, okay, we don't have any server, email server now. So just saving it. So system configuration settings are done. So now I will create a job. So I have given a demo project. Says freestyle project. So for sample and projects and the batch script projects, you can configure using freestyle project. So Maven related projects is earlier it used to be separate one. Now it was moved to the freestyle project because this is provided for the backward compatibility. And this external job and multi-configuration project that we have discussed yesterday. Yeah, now we will configure the freestyle project. Once you created the project, you can observe this left side menu got changed. So these all options are related to the project. What is the status of the project? What is the changes? This is changes will show you the change set. So the changes that were happened from the last build to the previous build. So this is your workspace. So you can browse over the project source code from here, and this forcefully starting the build and deleting project and configuring project. When I click on configure, so it will open the configuration of the project. So during project configuration, the important things that we need to set up is, so where my source code is available and how to build it. These two are the main important things for setting up a project. So we are using Subversion as our source code management system. So I have selected the Subversion. And what is the URL of my project source code? So I need to specify it. So I will just get the URL of the project source code. So my credentials are cached, so it is not asking me the credentials. So if your credentials are not cached, so it will ask for the credentials. So you can click on enter credentials and you can provide the credentials there. So I have given this repository URL. So once this is given, the next step is configuring the build step. So different types of builds that we can do. So we can invoke an AND build script, or we can invoke an shell script, or we can invoke a Maven build script. So all the options in a build step that we can perform are available here. So we can select the corresponding option that is related to our requirement. So for our because our project is AND, I am just invoking AND build script. So you can select the AND version. So what is the target that you wanted to invoke in your AND build script? So my project has build.xml. In that I wanted to invoke the target Windows. So Ant by default will invoke build.xml. So if the file name is not build.xml, so you can specify the build file name is, if anything is other than build.xml, you can specify it here. So by default, Ant will build the build.xml. And target I wanted to build is Windows. Is it clear now? Hello? Okay. Yeah, I will tell once again. So when it's coming to configuring the project, the important things are we need to tell where the source code is. So Subversion is our source code management system I have selected, and the URL of my project source code I have given here. And once the URL is set up, the next important step is setting up the build step. So when you are adding build step, so it is showing so what kind of build steps that you can add. So you can invoke an ant file and build script, or you can invoke a so you need not set up every day. Once the project is set up, so it will continuously, it will do build every day. So when there is a failure, so we need to identify the reason for the failure. So configuring the project with Hudson is, our job is done. It's just a monitoring of what is happening. So integration with tools also you might need to do. Yeah. Invoking Ant or shell script or invoking a Maven build script, or so you can set as many build steps as required. So here I have selected Ant version as, so I can configure multiple versions of Ant, and the version of Ant that I wanted to use for building this project I can select here. The target I wanted to build is Windows. This target is available in my build script. Yesterday we have seen. This is the target it will build. And the build file name by default Ant will build build.xml. So if the file name is not build.xml, if you have given some other file name like my build script.xml, so you need to specify the build file name here. So these two are mandatory steps. So it will not prompt you to give any mandatory details. So for configuring a project, you need to say where your source code is and how to build it. And the project is saved. Now we will invoke the build. Yeah. So it started building. You can view the output from the console output. So for the first time, it will do a checkout of your project to the Hudson home directory, that jobs location it will check out. And once the checkout is completed, it started building. So if you see, these are options are related to the build. Yeah, the build is successful now. Yeah, you need not migrate any code to the Hudson server. So you need to give the link of your source code management system. So while configuring our project, we have given the source repository link, project link, URL. So select the project in configure. So we have given the link here. So here is our source code is committed, so that Hudson will automatically identify, and when you trigger the first build, so it will get all the source code directly to the Hudson server. It will do a checkout to Hudson our home directory, and it will do build. So you need not manually migrate the code. So once you build is done, you can view the workspace from here. It's just for the viewing purpose. So because this is the first build, there are no changes, and it will show what is the status of the last build. So this last successful build, this blue icon indicates the success, red indicates failure, so the yellow indicates unstable. Now the project is configured and the build is successful. Now where is my artifact? So once the build is successful, I should be able to download the artifact and use it. So I need to configure the location of artifact, so it doesn't know what is the artifact. So your build script is generating artifact. So once the build is successful, this post build actions will get executed. So these are all our pre-build actions, and these are build, and this is a post build actions. So once the build is successful, this post build actions will get executed. So there are multiple actions that you can do after build is successful. So one of them is archiving artifacts. So what is our artifact? So yesterday we have seen in our project, this connect4.jar is our artifact. Suppose in our workspace, so once the build is successful, in target it was creating the jar file. This is our artifact. So different applications will have different kinds of artifacts. Suppose some artifacts might be WAR files, or some can be exes, some can be any other installation files or zip files. So once the build is successful, we'll be having this artifact that is deliverable, and that if there are any automated test cases configured, the test results also published here. So we'll see how to view the test results dashboard later. Now yeah, we have configured the artifacts. Now we will do build again. Yeah, you can view the from console output, you can view what is happening. So this time it is not doing any checkout because checkout was already done. So from next time onwards it will just take the update of the changes. So there is no change found from the previous build. So but why it is building is we are forcefully building. So when we click build now, even though there are no changes, it will build. It's a kind of triggering a forceful build. Yeah. The colors are blue for success, red for failed, and yellow for unstable build. Suppose you have configured some test cases with your automated test cases with your build. So even the build is successful, the test cases are failing. Means that the build is unstable. So there are some bugs in the build. So in that case, it will show in a yellow color. Yeah, the build is successful. Yeah. Now if you see this artifact of last successful build, you can download from here. You can click and download. Anybody can access this, and they can download the artifact and they can use it for testing. Is that clear? Hello? Is that clear or any questions? Yeah. So you have configured the artifact. What is the artifact you have told in the configuration to the Hudson? So it's making it available for download from here. So now in project configuration, you have configured 3 steps. So what is the URL of my project source code and how to build it and how to archive artifacts. Yeah. So there's one more option to configure our test results. So our build script is generating the test results in XML format. All the test results are available inside target and test results, and all the XML star.xml means all the XML files that were generated as a test result. So I wanted to view the report of all the XML files. So if I wanted to filter only some of the XML files, I can filter with the regular expression. So how do you know that you can give this location from target? Is you can see you can give that location relative to your workspace. Inside my workspace there is a target. Inside that my artifact is there. Inside that my test results are there. So you need to give all the paths relative to your workspace. Now I have configured the test results. I will do build once again. Yeah, you can run, but so people will be, so if there are 10 people, they are facing 10 problems and we are not able to move ahead in solving all those problems. That is the problem. You can try, you can start doing after the class or tomorrow at your time, and you can send me the consolidated mail. If anybody is facing the issues, you can send me the mail. Whenever in the next class we can discuss about all those things. So you will be having this video, you can watch this going through video and you can practice it. Initially we used to do like that only, but it did not work out actually. So if you select the project and status, so if you see there is one more thing that is called the test results, latest test results. So you can view what are the tests that were run and how many are passed, all those things. So but the test script should be there, so that will be available. Test cases should be written and test scripts should execute the test cases. So in my build.xml I have the scripts for compiling tests and executing tests. So and it is keeping the results inside target and test results folder, so that I am able to configure in my Hudson. So where are the test results, and as I configured in the project, it is showing me in the dashboard. So now this is fine, and we are manually doing build and everything is successful. So where is continuous integration, and how does it automatically trigger the build? So go to configure. There is one more section called build triggers. So till now we are manually doing the build and build now option. So you can set automatic build using build trigger. So what kind of triggers are available? So build after other projects are built. So you can configure multiple projects in Hudson, and once any other project is built successfully, so you can configure this project on success of the project. So you can use any other project name, like if you configure, I'll just configure a sample project. So I will not do anything, I'll just save and I will run build on it. The build is successful. If I say build after other projects are built, so when a sample is built, if I click build on sample, or if sample is triggered automatically, once the sample is built, so automatically this demo project build will also start if I configure like this. And you can configure build periodically. So build periodically means whenever, every day evening 9:30 or every day morning if you wanted to do build. So nightly build if you wanted to configure every day 9:30 or every day 2-3 builds. So you can configure with a schedule. So this is a schedule based building. So how to give the schedule here? So there is a format that was defined. So you can go through this and you can understand the format. So it's a string with 5 parts. The first part represents the minutes, and the second part represents the hours, third part represents the day of the month, and fourth part month, and fifth part represents the day of the week. So this is the type of 5-part string that you need to give for specifying a schedule. So the first part represents the minute. Suppose if I wanted to build every day at 9:30, so 9:30 means the minutes part is 30 and the second one is hours part. So 9:30 is 12 plus 9, 21. It's because it's a 24-hour clock. And then day of the month. So if I wanted to do every day of the month, I can place star. So if I wanted to do only in January, I can say 1 here. And if I wanted to do it every month, I can just say star here. And if I wanted to do day of the week, so if I wanted to do only from Monday to Friday, I can say 1 to 5. 0 and 7 are Sunday, and 6 is Saturday, and 7 and 0 are Sunday. 1 to 5 is Monday to Friday. So you can specify like this. So if I wanted to do it in alternative days also, I can specify like this. So this is all up to our need how to configure it. So it's a 5-part string. You should based on each part, time and day of the month, you need to configure. So I wanted to do every day of the week. Is that clear? How to create a schedule string? Yeah. So January means, see, if day of the month, so this 4th part represents the month. So in my 4th part, if I wanted to build only in January, I will give it as 1. So it will not build automatically in the remaining months, because month represents the 4th part. In 4th part I should give 1. So for each month it's 1 to 12. Clear? Okay. Poll SCM. This is also a schedule kind of thing. Star is nothing but every. Suppose if you keep the star in the first place, if you keep the star means every minute it will run the build. Every minute, every hour, every day of the month, like that. Star means represents everything, every minute, every day. No, it's not after development. Yeah, it will run a build. At the specified schedule time, it will run the build. So it's not after code developing and QA, we need to configure the code release. So it's during development, we will configure. So every day, whenever there is a developer changes the source code, it should build automatically, and it should notify if there are any failures happening. So it is not like after QA is completed, we will configure this. This should be configured in the initial days during development. So whenever the developers modify the code, so it should pick up the code and it should try to build. And whenever there is a build failure, so this is the main advantage of this continuous integration systems. So it will make the number of builds, number of issues during the release time will be less, because it will do build every day and it will be tested every day. Yeah, from this build will be released to QA for testing. So, yeah, generally it was configured to run every day, night, or based on depends on the policy in the company. It can be configured to run every day, night, or it can be configured to run on each change that was happened to the source code management system. So I will just show you how to configure. Suppose poll SCM is nothing but, so it will continuously poll the source code management system for changes. If somebody makes some changes to the source code and commit it to SVN, it will automatically take the changes and it will build. So if it is a wrong check-in, it will make the build failure, so that he can immediately identify, okay, there's some mistake happened, and he can fix the issue. Suppose if it is not, we are not doing build every day, there might be hundreds of wrong check-ins that will be going in. 1 second. There will be hundreds of wrong check-ins that will be going in, and it is very difficult for you to identify, for developers or for team to identify. So how many issues are there and what has happened. So if you identify the issues earlier and fixing them earlier, so you will not have much issues during release time. This is a more good development practice. This not when build is updated, it's you will know whenever source code is updated. So it has a poll SCM, means whenever there is a change happened in your source code, so it will identify automatically. Yeah, that's what I am trying to do that. Okay. So I have configured polling SCM for every minute. So I have configured this build trigger poll SCM. Saved it. So because I have configured polling, so it's saying that subversion polling log. So for every minute it will poll the subversion for changes. Hudson system will poll the subversion for changes. Whenever the change is identified, it will build automatically. Yeah, if you see this, developers are working on the project and they will make the changes to the source repository. This continuous integration system take the changes from the source code repository and it will start the build. So taking the changes from source code repository can be scheduled to particular time, or it can continuously poll, and whenever there is a change is happened, it can start automatically the build. So once the build is successful, the artifacts will be generated, and if there are any automated functional test cases, you can execute them or it can be given to QA. So if there are automated test case executed, the reports we have configured journey test reports, those kind of reports we can view from the dashboard. Yeah, so I have configured to poll the Subversion repository for every minute. I have configured the source code repository for every minute. So it has polled the Subversion repository for changes. So it did not identify any changes. Now I will make modifications to my source code. Now I am making modifications to the source code. So I will give some I am removing this keyword. So this ideally I am making a wrong check-in. Ideally it should fail the build. So I made the changes to the source code repository, and I don't know whether it's successfully building or not. So I will just leave from there. So what this Hudson server will do is it will automatically pick up this change and it will do build, and when it fails it will send mail to your mailbox, so that I can immediately identify, okay, there is some wrong check-in happens, and the build I can fix it immediately. Suppose if I find this issue after 10 days, there might be 10 wrong check-ins might happen. So for fixing all those issues and the files modified in this 10 days, it is very difficult. So if I immediately know, so now I open this Hudson. Yeah, so it's automatically starting the build because the Subversion identifies the changes. Okay, there are changes found. So it's automatically build is triggered. I did not trigger any build now. So it triggered the build and it got failed. So I can view from the console output what is the failure. Okay, build failed. Okay, I have made this change to failure. So it is a build failure. So from change sets I can see, so what are the changes happened. Okay, so there is some change was done by at revision 3 by this user, and okay, there's some comment is there and the file modified is this, so that I can immediately identify, okay, there's some changes done to this file at revision 3, so which is causing build failure, so that I can immediately fix it. So is that clear now, that polling? Now if I fix it, it will automatically again take these changes. because I have configured that build trigger poll SCM for every minute. So every minute it will try to check the Subversion repository for if there are any change commits happened on the Subversion system for this project. So if there is any change happened, so it will pick up the change and it will start the build automatically. And if there is any failure, if mail is configured, it will automatically send the mail to the users. Now I have corrected the file. It should have built automatically and the build should have been successful. Yeah. So now if you see, so I have made the change and the build is successful. And changes, if you see this fixing build failure. So this the fourth build is failed because of this failure, and this is changes that were happened to the fixing build failure. So now the build is successful. Similarly, if suppose I have automated test cases got configured, I have got configured automated test cases. Suppose it's not a build failure, so there is some logical mistake I am doing. So this will not cause any build failure. It's a functionality breaking change. So instead of the place where I need to keep less than, I have made it greater than. As a part of some enhancement, I am doing this change. If you see console output, okay, the modified file, it is updating and it started doing build. Sorry, by mistake I clicked on build now. Okay. Changes, enhancements. Okay, there are 5 because of my mistake. So there are 5 failures in the test results. So I can immediately know. So because this build is successful, but there is a functionality breaking and there is a test cases failure. So it's showing in yellow color, that is unstable. So there are 5 test cases failed. So you can see, okay, these are the 5 failed and what is the error that's causing this failures, and you can see and you can fix it. So functionality, if you have automated test cases, you can immediately identify the functionality breakings also. So every day it will compile your project and it will create the build and it will run the test cases so that you can continuously monitoring the quality of your project. Now I will correct it again. Yeah, that test cases will be created by the test team or developers. So you can see the trend of the build also. So how much time the build was taken, and so there are failures at the build 4, and there are unstable builds at 6, 7. It's a kind of sanity checking. Yeah, there are regression test cases. You are correct. This all continuous integration and automation, everything is to verify the sanity of the project and ensuring the quality of the project output. So now I have corrected that, and again all tests are passed. No failures. So the build is again a success state. So you can see the trend. So how this build is started by SCM change. Yeah, I have to give it to Niranjan for dropping it in Dropbox. I will. So it will take at least one more day to put it in Dropbox. So I will definitely keep it in the Dropbox and make it available to you. So if you see this upstream down, this is also one kind of build trigger. So if upstream project means once this project is built, this project build will be started automatically. Suppose if I trigger the build here, so it is automatically starting the build of demo project. So once this build is successful from this project, so in our build trigger of this demo project we have configured, once this sample project is built, build this project automatically.